Turn over to Lucas.
Thank you, Saeed. Yeah, we hear that from Wintersville. How about Grifton? Is Grifton here? No, I didn't think so. That's okay. I'm Grifton. That's okay. That's okay. It's like me and two other people. So if they live here, then no one be in town. No, I'm Lucas. With Democracy North Carolina. I'm really happy for y'all to be here tonight. I know it's really hard. Everyone working for, providing for their families and everything, and very busy lives. So I'm very happy that we're able to, bring the microphone to you all tonight to hear, to let our lawmakers hear from you and to hear from each other about what we can do to build our community up better together. So pass it over to Luther now.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here on this evening. I am from, I live in Greenville, North Carolina. I grew up here in West Greenville some years ago. I am the State Director of Civic Engagement with North Carolina League of Conservation Voters Foundation out of Raleigh, North Carolina. We do large-scale voter registration. We have over 47 counties we've been in. I've been doing this work since 2016.
Well, greetings, family. How's everybody doing? Good. Doing well. All right. Well, for those that don't know me, my name is Jermaine McNair. I'm the Executive Director of the Greenville-based nonprofit NC Civil. We have our field office open right here on West Fifth Street, over at 800 West Fifth Street, right beside where the Gold Post Cafe is, or just right up the block. But we really focus on neighborhood improvement, community projects and initiatives for our youth and families, and do capacity building at the neighborhood level to address disparities. So obviously, we can't do that unless we are really able to lift up our voice and make sure that we're being heard. So thank you to everyone for being here.
All right. Round of applause for the most beautiful bunch in Greenville. Thank you all very much for welcoming us. Thank you all for being here this evening. My name is Gino Nuzlillo. I work with Common Cause North Carolina. We are an organization, much like the folks who are here, that focuses on building a stronger and a better democracy here in North Carolina. How many of y'all think we have a strong democracy in this state right now? Let me just ask that question. Raise your hand if you think so. A democracy where you've got representatives who give a damn about you. Your vote counts and you feel like your vote counts. How many of y'all feel like your vote counts in this state? Not a single. So you're shaking your head. That's right. So that is what we are here to talk about tonight. We are here to not only talk about the state of our democracy here in North Carolina, about the vote, whether it feels like our vote counts, what we can do about it. Additionally, a lot has happened in the state legislature in Raleigh this year. How many of y'all have heard of something about like a law that's changed, a bill that's been passed, something significant? Yeah, what have you heard about?
Well, what I've heard is that they have not done anything with Medicaid expansion.
That's right. We're going to talk about that tonight, but talk about Medicaid expansion, access to health care, the fact that it still has not been expanded here in North Carolina. What else? Just shout it out. What else have you heard about coming out of our state legislature this year? Delaying the budget.
Not school funding.
School funding. What do you say? Housing.
Fair. Community economic development.
Community and economic development. That's right. What else?
Haven't they started book banning as well?
There are some folks across the state in specific counties who are trying to ban books, and there's definitely some legislation about our children's education that is happening. You're exactly right.
Women pro-rights.
Women, pro-rights, yeah.
Substance use and mental health challenges.
Substance abuse and mental health challenges. All right, so substance use. Oh, beautiful. So this is voter suppression. All right, so this is a group who knows a little bit of something that's coming on Raleigh. Well, that's what we're here to talk to you about tonight. To fill in some of the details, to maybe answer your questions about these issues, and ultimately to turn the mic over to you. You're going to hear from organizations who are working on these issues, who are working to restore the right to vote to those who have convictions or a record. You're going to hear about folks who are trying to make it easier to cast a ballot, all sorts of things. And then we want to be able to turn the mic over to you tonight. But before we get started on that, I want to just recognize folks in the room. I want to first recognize one of your state representatives who's here tonight, Representative Laura Brown, up here in the front, who you'll hear from tonight. We are fortunate to have Representative Brown, and we believe also that your state senator, Candy Smith, will be here a little bit later. And this is an opportunity to ask questions about the General Assembly, what has been happening this year in the state legislature. I believe we also, Luther, have a few other folks that we want to recognize who are here tonight. Is that right?
We have for you, Barbara Gaston, can you stand at this time and say, hey, what are you doing? Barbara Gaston is running for Big County for Greenville Mayor.
All right, now.
Yeah.
Thank you for the place. Barbara Gaston. We have Audrey Jones Williams, she's running for District 1.
All right.
Greenville City Council. Do we have any more candidates? Okay, that's all this time.
All right. Anybody who is a current office holder other than Representative Brown? Okay. Yes, please introduce yourself.
I'm mayor for the town of Elm City.
Say that one more time.
I'm the mayor of the town of Elm City.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. And do we have any members of the clergy who are here? There you go. Yeah, please stand up. We'd like to give y'all a round of applause. Please stand up. Recognize members of the clergy here. Thank you so much. And then finally, and I promise we'll get past this section, if you are a community leader in any way, or you define yourself as a community leader, I'm looking at you, Ms. Freeman. Raise your hand, stand up. We want to recognize y'all as well. Give them a round of applause. Yeah, thank you. All right. So, we're going to bring our friends up here in a moment, but we want to just kind of set the scene with talking to y'all about a few of the pieces of the legislation that have passed this year. You talked about some of the issues. Now we want to add some color, some detail to some of those bills. So how many of y'all have heard, and we're going to get lost in some numbers here. I'm going to try and make it as clear as possible, I promise. But how many of y'all have heard of a bill called SB 747? Oh, we got strong reactions. SB 747. We're talking first about democracy and our voting rights. This is a bill that was passed by the majority party in the General Assembly, was vetoed by Governor Cooper, and is now slated to be forced into law through something they call a veto override. This bill changes a lot about how we're going to vote in 2024. How many of y'all have voted by mail before, or know someone who's voted by mail? Good number of y'all? The biggest part of this bill, the most concerning part of this bill, is that it reduces the period that your mailed-in ballots can be accepted. If that had been in place in 2020, that would mean up to 12,000 ballots that were legitimately cast would be thrown out, would be rejected, discounted, invalidated. This is a state where elections are decided by 400 votes, 400 votes or fewer, maybe a couple thousand votes. So you can imagine that if 12,000 North Carolinians votes were discounted, how that might change things in the state and who gets elected, right? Now, that's not necessarily saying that that's what's going to happen next year, but we know that that would have been the impact of the law this past year. Now, how many of y'all use early voting? Yes. Love it. Now, there's another bill that's going to be heard tomorrow in the General Assembly. It's called SB 749. Now, SB 749 is a complicated, technical, in-the-weeds kind of bill. What it basically does is it changes how your elections are run. It gives more power to the General Assembly, and it creates gridlock in election administration at the local and state level. Now, why does that matter? Well, when they create gridlock, and say they're trying to decide how you do early voting here in Pitt County, you got multiple sites, right? You can go to any site across the county for 17 days leading up to election day. I see some nods, it sounds familiar. Now, under SB 749, they're intentionally creating a gridlock system, which means that if they're deadlocked at the local level when it comes to coming up with a plan for your early voting, and they're deadlocked at the state level, it could result in one early voting site for all of Pitt County. That's open only really during business days, or weekdays, during business hours with one Saturday. So imagine that. Imagine what would happen in this county if you had one early voting site that was open before election day. What happens on election day? Long lines. So it creates this system where it adds another barrier to the vote. This is an important bill that we're fighting against right now that we wanted to make sure you all knew that. Now, y'all talked about a number of other pieces of legislation. There are bills like SB 20 that folks have talked about. I think someone mentioned up here at the front that banned access to abortion after 20 weeks. There's also a state budget. In that budget, we're talking about raises for our teachers. How many folks are teachers here? I see Mr. Barry. We got a couple of folks who are teachers here. We depend on those budgets, right, from the state legislature to determine how much more money folks are going to get to address things like a bus driver shortage, to set the budgets for public universities. That is currently still not done. I'm sure we'll hear more about that from Representative Brown. So a number of major changes have been made in the legislature this year. And you don't need to keep hearing me talk about it. We've got folks who are here who have organizations fighting on these issues. So in this portion, I'm going to turn it over to a few of those folks and tell them about who they are and the issues they're fighting on as we learn about them tonight. So first, I'm going to invite my friends from Democracy, North Carolina, Lucas again, just to take a few moments, about 2 minutes each, to tell you a little bit about the issues they are working on. So come on.
Thank you, Gino. Yeah, thank you all for being here tonight on your Monday. I'm really happy to see so many people turn out and here tonight. What we each have to say and really kind of start somewhere we can build and work together more as a community. So, my name is Lucas. I work with Democracy North Carolina. We are a voting rights and advocacy group. We also advocate for more civic engagement on all levels as well. And just like Gino just mentioned, we've been fighting tooth and nail on 747 and 749. We've had to make some concessions here and there, and we've just been doing our best to be there, to voice our opinions against what's going on, do our best to make sure that the community knows what's happening. So it's been a whirlwind of a session this year in the General Assembly. And I can tell you, I won't speak tonight about what's been going on. I will tell you that I am tired and fed up with these late night sessions and these quick call votes and these shady things happening behind closed doors that we don't get to know about, even though we're the ones that are electing them. And blatantly, what's happening in these bills is they're trying to strip our voice away. People that we vote and we elect to hold these positions of power are trying to make sure that we can't voice our opinions against them and vote them out of office, and we don't know what's going on. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm fighting with Democracy North Carolina to make sure that our elections are free and fair, that our democracy in North Carolina is protected, and that when we go to the polls, we're not being turned away. There's not any confusion as to what's going on, and we know that we can walk in there, cast our ballot, and make a difference for ourselves and our community. So, that's what we're doing here at Democracy North Carolina. We're going to start here tonight. We're going to hear from each other, and we're going to build a strong base of where we go next. So, thank y'all for letting me be here, and I look forward to hearing from y'all.
Thank you, Lucas. Next, I'm going to invite our friends from Legal Conservation Voters to tell you a little bit about themselves as well.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. My name is Parker. I'm the Integrated Voting Engagement Director for the Greenville Office for Power to Vote NC. We are the underground program of the North Carolina League of Conservation Voters Foundation. And so the NCLCVF mission is really to just engage frontline communities in the fight towards having a more environmentally friendly, safe, and accommodating environment, and holding our elected officials accountable for those environmental changes that need to be made in our frontline communities. And the way that we engage those frontline communities is through nonpartisan voters registration. And so myself and the canvassers that I work with, we have the amazing opportunity to engage with the community every single day to make sure as many citizens in our local areas and across North Carolina are registered to vote as possible. No matter how many barriers to voting exist or are trying to be put in place, we do try to still ensure that people are registered, they know their rights, they know every opportunity they have to exercise their civic duty.
Thank you so much. And folks, never fear, if you've got questions that are generating now, you do have index cards on your chairs that you can use write those down. We'll have a lot of time to answer questions as we get further on into this event. But next, first I want to recognize we have a candidate who walked in, who's running for city council here, I believe, in the municipal election. If you just want to stand up and introduce yourself, we're recognizing folks who are running here tonight.
Oh, thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Portia Willis, and I'm running for Greenville City Council at large. All right, our city council meeting tonight.
Thanks for coming.
For closed session, but I am here to listen and learn. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for being here. What do you do?
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Next up, I want to invite our friends from Forward Justice to come up and tell us a little bit about themselves as well. Like I said, keep those questions churning, the things you want to say churning.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I got to give a little bit more. Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Mitchell. I am a staff attorney at Forward Justice. And in case you don't know what Forward Justice is, we are a law, policy, and strategy center. We are focused on eradicating injustice in the United States South. We do litigation. We also not only help here in North Carolina, but we do work also in Jackson, Mississippi, and across the United States South. My message to you all today is please get out and go vote. Go vote, go vote, go vote. We know that voting is important. We know that they are attacking our right to vote. But not only are they attacking our right to vote, but they are also attacking things like our education. And I don't know about y'all, but our babies need the education. They are also attacking our judicial system, which are things that are very important for those of us who know that in the criminal justice system, we are disproportionately impacted by the criminal justice system. So with that being said, please, please, please get out and go vote. And I'm going to pass it to my amazing partner, Isaiah Withers.
How y'all doing today? My name is Isaiah Withers, as Ashley said, senior organizer with Forward Justice. And as y'all see what I'm repping right here, our sister organization, Second Chance Alliance. By show of hands, how many of y'all believe in second chances? Hey, repping the set right there. We do too. From fees and citations to making sure that we unlock the vote for our brothers and sisters coming out the pen to not just survive, but to actively live in a system that we know is actively every day working against us. And we trying to set a fire under it and watch it burn eventually on down. And that's what we stand for with Second Chance Alliance. And pass it back.
All right, one last thing, y'all. So Forward Justice, there is a hotline, and I don't want to misstate the number incorrectly right here. But there's a hotline. If you all have issues with voter intimidation at the polls, please call into that hotline. Because when you call in, you'll be directed directly to Forward Justice, and we will walk you through the process and make sure that you are having an excellent voting experience. That's our job, is to make sure that you have a good voting experience. Also, if you have felony convictions and you have issues with the criminal justice system, and you are concerned about whether or not you can vote, or if you have the right to vote, please call us at our hotline as well. And we do not have the hotline up and running yet, but if you are interested and curious about that hotline, please give us your name and your number, because we will be sending that out as soon as we get it going. All right, that's all I got. So thank you all.
All right, folks, we're getting close to the point where we're going to hear from you next. But we got one more organization, I think, here. We got two more. They'll be brief. We got first our friend Renee from Wet, White, and Blue, who's going to tell you about the issues they're fighting on here in North Carolina. And then we are almost getting to y'all, so I hope you're starting to sweat.
Hi, y'all. I'll make this quick. I'm Renee Sept. I'm with Red, White, and Blue. And what we do is we organize women in particular. We say suburban women, though we have a very expansive definition of suburban. Pretty much, if you can see somebody else's house from your house, you're in the suburbs. And we want to help you. So, but we kind of come from this belief that the most effective way of getting people out to vote and organizing is for people to talk to their own friends and family. We have research that says that it's far more effective than knocking on a stranger's door. Not that there is anything wrong with knocking on a stranger's door. But speaking to your friends and family is the best way to get out the word about what matters to you, the values that we share, and how we can fight back to make sure that those values show up in our laws or, are lived every day in our municipals, in our school boards, in all of those elections. So what we do is we offer trainings. We offer a series of my favorite thing called salons, where we talk about issues of maybe interest to women. And we offer a get out the vote tool, which allows you to put your friends and family in, you now look at their information, you look at their information, and see if they're registered to vote, see if they voted in the last couple of elections, and then talk to them and give you, hey, make sure they're registered, or talk to them about, right now it's Tricia Collins' betrayal and her changing parties, which allowed that 12-week abortion ban to go through. So yeah, we're about having fun, talking to friends and family, but also fighting firmly for abortion rights, against book bans, and against the extremists who want to stop our kids from getting a free and fair education.
Last but not least, y'all get to hear not once, but twice from Mr. Saeed Jasmine, who's going to just tell you a little bit more about Black Voters Matter before we get into the rest of tonight's event.
All right. Thanks for giving me 10 minutes. I appreciate that. Okay, so real quick, Black Voters Matter, we're a capacity building organization based around the country, really, but we want to work with local organizations that help build their political power. So we care about our people. And so with that being said, you can talk to me more about what partnership looks like after this. But secondly, I'm also representing NOTRA. NOTRA stands for North Urban Association, and we're a new organization here in Greenville, North Carolina. Most importantly, September 23rd, which is a Saturday, we'll be having our elections forum, rather a candidates listening session. So for candidates, feel free to talk to me after this is over as well. But I want to just piggyback on what Ashley said and what young lady from Red, White, and Blue said, is that voting is important, right? So we want to make sure folks know what's going on in regards to upcoming elections. And so we have these door hangers right here, you're free to get, as well as these push cards that you can give out to folks. So come see me after this, but I look forward to hearing all you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, y'all warmed up yet? How are we feeling? Good, that's right, there we go. I also want to recognize y'all, just your other representative of this area, Senator Candy Smith, just walked in and wanted to recognize and I know you've got a packed evening, Senator Smith, so thank you for being here. So now, folks, this is the portion of the event where we're going to take some time to hear from you. We want to know what questions you have, that you've got a lot of experts here to help answer. We want to know about the issues that are impacting you and what you'd like your state lawmakers who are here tonight and those who are not to know about your experiences, what you'd like to see from your politicians, and about the issues that are impacting your life. We are capturing, as you can see, recording this event, and we've also got on your chairs a bunch of paper materials where we're asking for y'all's thoughts, because our hope and our plan is to take what we learned here tonight in Greenville, what we learned tonight in Scotland Neck, or tomorrow night in Scotland Neck, Wednesday in Rocky Mount, Thursday in Wagram, and on the 11 stops we've been doing these events across North Carolina to really bring a different kind of people's agenda to the folks in Raleigh. So the rest of this night, rest of this event until 8 o'clock is to listen and hear from y'all. And I believe we've got some sheets of folks who signed up to speak as they came in. I cannot find those sheets right now, so if that was you, we're going to ask that you raise your hand and we pass the mic to you. All right, so we got 1, 2, and then 3. We'll make sure we get there. You will have about 2 minutes to speak each. That is only because we want to make sure as many people get a chance to speak as possible. And our only rule tonight, friends, is that we are nonpartisan organizations. We side with no one but the people. And so we ask to focus on issues, on experiences, and if you are a candidate running for office, we welcome you to speak tonight, but do ask to try to keep things as nonpartisan as possible. So, sound good, everybody?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start here. And as you come up to speak, feel free to stand, address the crowd, and please introduce yourself, where you're coming from tonight, okay? So come on. Give you a round of applause.
Good evening, my name is Maxine White. I have a question. How many of you have heard of the Heritage Foundation? Okay. Those of you who have you read their 2025 mandate for leadership? Please go to their website, please, because it's a 592-page document. In that document, they tell you exactly what they're going to do if the White House changes. Okay? One of the things they're going to do is they're going to destroy our judicial system. It's in there. So please go to www.project2025.org. So I didn't have a question, but I want to make sure that everybody understands, because it's serious. All the things that you've been hearing in the news from the other party, what they say they're going to do is documented. It is documented. And they're going to just tear our democracy up. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. And then I believe that you were next, that's right. And then Lucas, will you raise your hand? Folks, he's who you'll look to as your timekeeper tonight. And just one other plug, if all you have is a question to ask, that is also totally fine at this time. Please feel free, like you can do so. But here you go.
Peace and blessings, royal family. Hey, kings and queens, y'all doing okay tonight?
Yeah.
My name is Coletta Shaw. I'm with Bring America Home Now National Homeless Coalition. It was founded in 2015 to help establish housing and affordable housing for everybody. So this year is a very important election year that we get out and get our voices heard, that we're talking to our neighbors, we're talking to our friends, because as she just said, she just took the floor. If we're not out here on our game and we're not coming out and standing up for our community, I don't know if y'all took a ride around the block lately. I don't know if y'all got y'all rent statements. I don't know if y'all going to the grocery store seeing everything that's going up instead of down. But the price of everything is not going up in your pocket to be able to pay for it. So we as a community have to get out and we have to stop looking at Democrats, we have to stop looking at Republicans, and we have to start looking at what is a person's top 3 priorities. Is it your housing? Is it your health care? And is it your jobs? Those should be your elected officials' top priorities for your position right now, because those are the top 3 things that matter to you right now in this moment, not in the future, but right now, because we're losing houses, we're losing communities, people are going to work, people are not being able to afford their rent, people are not being able to afford gas. By the time you get your paycheck, it's gone right back out the window. So we as a people have to stand up for ourselves, we have to get out, and we have to put elected officials in office, not based off Democrats, not based off Republican, not based off independent, but based off what their principles are. Are they going to sell us out for $1, or are they going to really get in office and stand firm on and being what they say they are? And then we also have to hold ourselves accountable and hold our neighbors accountable, because we are the people. It's up to us, you know what I'm saying? We're the ones who raise these kids and send these kids out into these environments. So training starts at home as well. We have to be productive adults to show the children in the future the right way. So we as people have to do our part as well as holding our elected officials accountable. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. And then I believe in the back, you want to come up here to the front? I wish I had a mobile microphone, but
I don't really need a microphone, but I'll talk on it.
hey, I think it's going to be more powerful when you do it.
Hello everyone, how y'all doing? All right now, see, I need to see some energy. What's going on, y'all? All right. I am Carisha Holly. I am a person that was raised on the west side of Greenville. I'm in recovery of 18 years. Been working in mental health and substance use for 16. And God has opened up doors for me to be the vice president of Pitt County Coalition of Substance Use. I also sit on the executive board with Addiction Professionals of North Carolina. I do a lot of different seminars, workshops about peer support counseling, helping people that are overdosing on drugs, of course, and mental health challenges. The issue with me is that if we keep talking and ain't no work being done, it's nothing.
That's right.
If you on the ground for real, you will be seeing what's going on. And one thing about me, I'm about being on the ground, and I'm tired of my people dying. I'm tired of my people going in and out of places because they're going through with their mental health challenges. Because like Colette said, look what's going on around you. If you ain't checking what's going on around you, if you're not taking yourself with accountability and responsibility, ain't nothing going to move, and it's going to be the same issues. So I don't have too much to say because I'm not big of a talker, but I'm tired of talking. I got like 2 conferences to to do this week because I got to save my voice. But all jokes aside, you all, really check out what's going on. Check with your family members. If you know people that have overdosed and passed away, if you know people that are suffering for real, please, please give them some help. Okay? All right.
Thank you for bringing the energy and that important message. And I've now had the sign-in sheet, so now I know who signed in to speak. And remember, you have your elected representatives here tonight. If you are still trying to figure out what you want to say, we'll focus on the things you want them to hear, and then we're going to turn it over to them here at the end. If I messed up anybody's name, please forgive me. Please feel free to correct me. But next, I have Ascari. So sorry, sir. Please say your name when you come on.
What's up, y'all? My name is Ascari. I'm in a local organization out here called Mop and Lucy. That's why I use Revolution. But really, I just had a question mainly for like the candidates who running, especially locally here in Greenville. Really one of the main concerns here on the west side, on the south side, and even far on the east side of East 10th Street are these neighborhood substations. And the fact that Greenville PG gets about $30 million annually out of the city budget, but yet housing only gets about $1.9 million, and then only $372,000 out of that $1.9 million comes from the Greenville General Fund. The rest of that is based on grants. So if the issue is high crime rates, poverty, and housing in Greenville, I want to know what y'all plan to do to like divert the funds straight up from the police and demilitarize the GPD and like put money into the people's hands. Because like if you've been here for like the last couple of years, you see people losing Section 8 vouchers, like homelessness increasing out here. And you can't talk about crime and poverty and stuff like that if you're not attacking poverty, like if you're not trying to eradicate that. So and I just honestly like I use a lot of slang, so it's like a lot of cap from a lot of people that, you know, be running for office and on the city council and stuff like that. It's a lot of cap. So I really want to know like how y'all gonna challenge that and how y'all gonna take that $30 million and put it back into the hands of people who need it out here.
Thank you. And when we give folks a few minutes to talk about that, I hope they will address what Ascari said. So thank you very much. We've got the next person here who's signed up to speak. Taisha Fox.
Yes, my name is Taisha Fox, and what Old Boy was saying, a lot of people don't even know that it was almost $2 million foundation here in North Carolina, and we only knew about one, and which was the HOPE program. Everybody heard of the HOPE program, and it was sad to see during the COVID that our people wasn't getting any help, and it was $2 million organization built for COVID. Not only that, it was a child that was killed trying to come to this gym right here that we in today. Instead of them putting a cross and that the kids that can come to this gym right here safely, they added this shit. Instead of, but if you go to ECU, they got the bed and the flashlight and everything. That grown folks can just go around there safely, and the cars got to stop on top of it. But children that stay right here across from here can't even get the same thing, like the same respect. I look at the respect thing. It's not who in office, because at the end of the day, it don't matter who in office. The thing that matters to me is who wanna do what to not continue with the problem, but to solve the problem. Because people can come up here and talk all day and all night, but who want to be on foot? A lot of people that's in office and running for stuff don't even have no clue what's going on in their local neighborhood. They know what's going on to their next door neighbor house, but they don't know what's going on in this city. And not only that, we got a violence court system that I got locked up over a traffic routine. Like I had my license, registration. I wasn't even speeding. No, I didn't even break the law, and I ended up in jail. Right? You feel me? Targeted. I'm targeted, but they don't target me no more because I beat that superior case, by the way, with their paid, whatever it's called. Because I ain't in the, I don't go to jail and then like that, y'all. So all I know that the lawyer, they paid for it. In Superior Court. No, they was really trying to give me probation and whatever and whatnot, and I refused. So they sent me to Superior Court. And I fought in Superior Court with the paid lawyer that they gave me. Thank you, Lord. Why you do it? But anyway, I just want to see a change. I'm just tired of all the talking and all the, you know.
That's right.
How long this been going on and it's getting worse that y'all had to come here and say hello. We need help. We need help in all aspects. School, the police department, even down to the business owners, because there's a few business owners that I knew personally that they got targeted and they can't even be downtown. And that's sad.
Right.
But I can go on all night, but I ain't people.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you for making sure we know. And I'll say, every place is different, right? But we were in Wilmington. We've been places like Wilmington. We've places as far west as Hendersonville. And folks are saying a lot of the same things that you are. And the agenda in Raleigh is not matching the agenda that you just described and folks all across the state. So thank you. And I know that folks who are running for office here are taking notes on what you said. So I appreciate it. Folks, we're going to keep it moving so that we don't get in trouble with the Epps Recreation Center to make sure as many folks can speak. So I've got Yoshi Newman next. Come on up, Yoshi.
Thank you for a few minutes. It's great to be here with all of you. I'm with Democracy NC. I'm Lucas's little sidekick. I do community and campus events with him. But really what I want to say is this is where the power is. So we're talking about voting. I want to encourage everyone, not just vote. Go to your neighbors, go to your family, go talk to the clerk, talk to everybody you can. And say, hey, what city council district do you live in? Who's your current council person? You will find very few people who know. Have your phone, we have a card where people can pull up their voter registration and say, let's check right now. Show them the phone. Show them whether they're registered or not. And tell them what district you're in. Who are those candidates? Have a card. Tell them here are the voting dates, here where you can vote. It's a matter of us being out and educating every person that we can and not being shy about it. In my neighborhood, go out in your neighborhood, go out and talk with people. Go back and talk with them again. If it means you go and talk with them the morning of election day to make sure they have voted, do not give up. Keep after it. Keep after it. So, all right, I'm being your sign back there. Thanks, everybody. And I want to say thank you also. You all are doing amazing work. And it's, I want to encourage you. We have to stay optimistic. We have to, get tired, right? It's hard work. But we know that we're all doing something that, you're right. Where did she go? Heritage. Yeah, we know it could go down, right? We are not going to let it go down. Well, we're going to do every single thing we can. Right? It is. So that's why do not be shy. I don't see a shy person in this room, maybe, but it's like, do the hard work right now. It's not true.
That's right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, we're cooking the gas. Next I've got Minerva Fruit. Listening? Okay. You changed your mind. We'll totally bring it back to you. Maxine, what? Oh, you already. Oh, my bad. And I think that actually gets us through the folks who signed up to speak before they came in. Yeah, you want to? Come on. I'll just bring them up here.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Faith. I work with Power to Vote or North Carolina League of Conservation Voters. I am guilty. I'm a youngin', so I'm not always up to date on who's my councilwoman, who's doing this and who's doing that. One thing that I personally feel like is important, especially enough for me to come and put in talk because I was not going to talk, is the abortion thing, the Roe versus Wade. Just to have a little understanding on what's really going on and what's really being implemented, you would have to understand the eugenics movement. The eugenics movement basically started Planned Parenthood and birth control. That was implemented to keep us And it's not a thing about color. We see it today. Everybody's in here. Everybody's affected by this. But it was a movement for population control. Long story short. And now, planning forward into 2023, Roe versus Wade, they're trying to ban abortions. Who's the number one person that's most likely to die in childbirth? Black women. We have been that for as long as I've been living, I'll be 23 this year. So that's one thing that I really, really want to get out there. That's something we really need to focus on. If anybody want to like look deeper into it, there's a movie called MAFA, 21, M-A-A-F-A, and it breaks down everything. It tells everything. And then when I seen the Roe versus Wade come through, I was like, oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. And another thing is gentrification, especially of Greenville. I'm from here. I was born here. Most of my family's from here. Most of the hoods or projects or ghettos in Greenville have been just that before Greenville was Greenville. And now definitely with the expansion of ECU, we see a lot of gentrification going on to where everything is just changing, prices is going up, and it's just crazy to where the homelessness is rising. I was homeless once upon, like on my own because I'm by myself and I can't afford it. You know, even in the places, like I said, that's been the hoods and the slums for as long as we can remember. And so I just want, if you are running, if you are in office, let's just focus on basically helping people that really need help. Like, you know, ECU, they're going to do what they need to do. We got to stick together and fight for us. Yeah, for the locals. But yeah, that's it for me. And I thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you so much. Yeah, come on through. But I just want to say, again, the things you were sharing, all across the state, folks are dealing with housing costs that are out of control. Is that right? That's right. And every single place, no matter how small, even in Tarboro, they've got rents that are about the same as they are in Durham. And they're forcing out folks who have been there for a long time. I live in Durham. We see that. We've seen that for 20 years. So I appreciate you raising that. I appreciate you raising abortion as well. Come on through.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Portia Willis, and I'm running for Greenville City Council at large. Hey, Queen. Good evening. Wow. I think what lands with me tonight is that, you know, I've worked on my campaign, my platform, and the things that are important to me. I'm focused on supporting small businesses, economic growth in our city, making sure that we're fiscally responsible with our money that comes down from federal, state, and local government, as well as I'm a former probation officer. And so I'm interested in our community relationships with our law enforcement. And so that's something that they have a meeting tomorrow in City Hall at 6 p.m. To talk about the statutes and things that will go into play with officers and their raises and different things like that, and the plan that the city has going forward with law enforcement. So that's a place that you may want to be if you're interested in that. But one thing that lands with me is I want to hear what's really important to people. I heard what you said. I heard what the gentleman said in the back about $30 million allocated to certain areas, but you have a concern about substations in different areas of the city. So you can go believe, I'm going to research where the substations are. Admittedly, I don't know where they are right now in every part of Greenville, but I want to go, part of what the at-large role is going to be is to be a liaison between all of the districts. So I want to know what your councilmen who are presently in those districts, what they're doing about the concerns that you have, because my goal is going to be whoever the citizens of Greenville elect is to work with all of them to best represent the citizens of Greenville. So I just want to thank you guys, and you'll see my face out and about because I want to hear what the citizens' concerns are and what their needs are, because we're not in it supposedly to be politicians, but as Ms. Tanya Foreman said, is to be public servants. And so we want to be able to hear what the concerns of, at least I know, I want to be able to hear what your concerns are, because that's what my job is going to be, is to represent the will of the citizens of Greenville. So thank you for being here, thank you for your time, and my job is to listen and learn.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Appreciate it. And before we turn it over to your state lawmakers, you want to come up? Yeah, we're going to give, if you want to speak, make sure you raise your hand after Mr. McNair goes, and then we're going to turn it over to your state lawmakers to share a few words as well.
Hey, what's up, folks? I'm gonna be quick. I just want to add a point about something that I don't often hear brought up. I hear a lot of commentary about law enforcement and the way that they carry out their jobs, particularly in our communities. I'm wondering how many people know about NC General Statute 160 through 168. That's going to be an important law that I don't hear people talk about, but what it does is that law makes North Carolina one of only 13 states in the United States that still seals off officer personnel records from their public. That is going to be the reason why, if any one of us gets stopped by a law enforcement officer and that ordeal goes horribly wrong, what's going to happen is you're going to be asked to go and file a police report, right? That's going to be investigated by internal affairs within law enforcement, which is a subdivision of, so the agency is investigating themselves to the degree. But here's what's going to happen. You know how much it takes for someone who feels like they've been harmed by law enforcement to step up and actually file a complaint with the same agency. That takes a lot of trust. But once you do that, here's what's going to happen. About 2 months are going to go by, maybe 3 months are going to go by, and you get a letter in the mail. That letter is going to go something like this. Hi, this is Officer such and such from Greenville Police Department Internal Affairs. We're just writing you today to let you know that your case number CR00 whatever has been fully investigated. We have concluded the investigation and taken the appropriate action, and they will not even share with you, the person who filed the complaint, what the outcome was, what they decided, and by law, according to North Carolina law, they can't share it with you, even if you're the person who actually raised the complaint. And the reason why they can do that is because there are laws on the books that makes North Carolina, again, one of only 13 states that by law they have to seal officer personnel records. So until we start addressing some of those laws, a lot of the fighting that we're doing and pushing for these are not going to be able to be changed at the local level because they have to operate under that state law as well. So write that down. NCGS 160 through 168. I never hear anyone talking about that, so I just wanted to lift it up.
Thank you, Mr. McNair. And yeah, go. Yeah. And I just want to mention something real quick, and then we'll turn it right over to you, my friend. Just I want to invite you all to touch base with Attorney Ashley Mitchell here at some point, because you brought up a good point, and there's something related about a bill that was passed this year. How many of y'all have heard of a bill called HB 40? Yeah, see lots of hands up. And I'll invite our state lawmakers to talk a little more about it too, but it's another one of those bills that basically just continues to criminalize another aspect of our lives. This bill sets it up so that a gathering, I believe it's 3 or more, is that correct? 3 or more folks who are gathering together, perhaps in peaceful protest, of exactly what you just described, if it's deemed, and I want to say if it's deemed, who is deeming it, either the district attorney or the cops, that there was a riot, destruction of property or something. Folks can be now, it's being challenged in court, but folks can be charged with a felony for being present at a peaceful protest where the cops have deemed that it is riotous behavior. That is just another aspect. There are a couple folks that talk about the criminal legal system. No one better that knows about it than the folks at Forward Justice. So I just invite you all to find Attorney Mitchell at some point before the night's over if you are curious to learn more about that. Is that okay, Attorney Mitchell? Absolutely. Then Lucas, and then we'll turn to you. Was there something you want to say? Oh, yeah. Okay. And then, ma'am, feel free to come on up and teach us.
I am going to say something. Because you all are so amazing and so passionate, and it makes me so happy to see people out in Greenville and Pitt County, with passionate voices, voicing their concerns and being here for not only yourself, but for your community at large. I just wanted to say, it is really great that we have Senator Smith and we have Representative Brown out here tonight, but take notice of who's not in this room. We don't have any of our Board of Election members, our Board of Commissioner members, different people who sit on local and county boards who make decisions every single day that govern our lives and directly affect, where we're going to live. Are we going to eat tonight? You know, where am I going to go vote? Am I going to be able to get a job in this area? You know, they make these decisions every single day. They don't sit in the General Assembly. You know, they don't sit in the Capitol up in D.C. They don't sit in the White House. They sit right here in Greenville, in Pitt County. And, you know, that's why it's so important when we're voicing these concerns that we're making sure that we're holding these people accountable, that we're, you know, finding them. We don't have the access to go out there. You know, they hold meetings inconvenient times and inconvenient locations, and, you know, and it's not always easy to be there. But, you know, we can email them, we can call them, and we can, you know, work with other organizations to make sure that our voices are heard all times throughout the year, that it doesn't have to be a town hall. But hopefully we don't need to have another town hall, because we are there and they know who we are and they know what our voices need. So, you know, I just want to really encourage you to, you know, after tonight, to continue with this, to continue finding ways to make your voice heard, because you all have very impactful and passionate voices. And those need to be heard, not just because, you know, you're affected by it directly, but because everyone out here is directed by it too. So I just want to say that, and again, thank you all for coming out here tonight.
Come on up. But we are in the short rows now. We're getting close to the end. No, take your time. Just like, yeah.
Hi, again, my name is Arjuna Jones, and I am the founder of Something to Somebody. It's a nonprofit organization that feeds the homeless every Sunday in the park. And you're absolutely right. Our numbers have gone. Before COVID, we're now feeding over 100, 115 people every Sunday. We were taking out 100 plates until we started running out. So we had to start making sure we have 120, 125 plates. So you're correct. Food insecurity is a big problem. Homelessness is a big problem. There are a lot of people that made beds out in the park. But yet we have people that want to run them away. But you run them from one place to another place to another place. So where they're going to actually end up, who knows? So I agree about homelessness, about food insecurities, and that's why I decided to run for city council for this year. Okay, Queen, I got you. Better call me.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for that, because I can assure y'all. Yeah, that's right. I can assure y'all, the folks in the General Assembly, at least those who get to make the decisions, homelessness is the furthest from their agenda. Addressing housing, addressing homelessness, it is the furthest from their agenda. Folks, we have time for about one more speaker before we turn it over to our state reps. Yeah, come on up, sir.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Glad to be here amongst you. I just want to say that I'm a relatively new addition to the community. I've been here now going on 7 years. I was gentrified from Brooklyn, New York, and I worked for the public housing, New York City Housing Authority for 31 years. And I'm listening to the comments and to the statements, and what I see is that people who are, the things that are occurring here are things that are leading to the gentrification of this community. I'm seeing that since I've been here for 7 years, I've seen things happen in West Greenville and areas like that, public housing communities, that indicate that there is an agenda to take over those communities for the community development, the economic community development of the larger population. And I think that's criminal. I think that if we're talking about economic development, community economic development, it has to be some issues that address our communities. I've watched Greenville blow up in a lot of ways, but I don't see those advances and those economic opportunities expanding to the communities that I'm familiar with and that I relate to. So that this is something that I want people to think about, and the people who are running for office or who are in office, to consider what are some of the things that we did a partnership in doing to facilitate a greater level of community economic development in our areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're glad to have you in North Carolina, sir. All right, folks. At this time, I'm going to invite up Senator Candy Smith, who represents this area in the state legislature. That's right. I'm grateful. They have tough jobs, and when they show up here in the community to hear from folks and talk a little bit about their work, I'm definitely grateful. So I appreciate Senator Smith for being here. We'll just invite her to respond to what she's heard from y'all tonight and share a little bit more about her work in the General Assembly. So, Senator Smith, take it away.
Thank you so much. The first thing I would like to say is kudos to you, because this is for you as the community. And if you don't come and speak and stand up for what you believe in, then you're going to have people voting and representing who they want to and doing what they want to do without accountability. And I don't believe in that at all. So I thank you for not just coming, but standing up and sharing what the issues are. But I also challenge you, because you should not be doing that just in this room.
Right.
You should be at those city council meetings. All politics are local. You should be at that mic, letting them know what is important to you. We just had ARPA funds to be distributed. So we had millions of dollars that was given to the city during COVID. If you guys would have been at that council sharing what you thought, maybe some of those funds could be put in places that you wanted to. Now I can tell you from what I saw, because I went to the meetings because I was just interested, a lot of them were put into parks and recreation. So when you put things into parks instead of into people, there's an issue. So I need you guys to take your advocacy from this room to the city council. So I just want to make sure you do that. Now, I also challenge all of you who are running, every last one of you. If you are standing so people can like what you're saying, that's a problem. You got to be willing to do the work, but you got to be willing to interact with the people. So if you don't know the people, it's hard for you to do the work. So I can say I know the people. I go places and they be like, how do you know them? I said, because these are the people I represent. I need to talk to them. Because when I vote, I don't vote for me. I vote for you. And so we need people who will make sure that they are representing us as a community. I am grateful to be in the position to serve as your state senator. It is not an easy job. We are in the super minority, and that means it doesn't matter what we say, what we think, what we do. They do anything they want to do. When the riot bill came up, oh, it was a mess. Yes, they did talk about 2 or 3 of us gathering together. But then when we asked the question, what if UNC wins a championship and then they take down the goalposts and burn stuff? Are y'all gonna do anything with that? Well, I mean, yeah, but you know that's not the case. But let 3 of you that look like me stand somewhere when something happens in another place, then there's a very strong possibility, even if they called you on the phone and they said, well, I'm going down to the city council meeting. They said in that bill they can still try to arrest you. And if they arrest you, it's automatic that you gotta stay in jail. They can't just say, let me go bond them out. You gotta stay in jail at least 24 hours. Might be 48, I'm trying to remember. So it's a mess, is what I can say. But we're not in a position to change that because they're in the majority. So what we can't do is say, well, one day. We gotta say today, we're gonna change that. So that means each of you in this room need to be talking to your friends, your families, making sure they're registered to vote, making sure they get to the polls. Because we've done an excellent job of making sure people are registered. If you go back and look at the numbers, we had thousands of people who were registered, didn't even vote. But they register because they want to be nice when you say, would you register? They be like, okay. But they don't translate it. So one of the things, I was working within my chapter, I'm the social action chair for my sorority, and we were thinking, we've done an excellent job. We challenge each other. Let's see who can register the most people. We even went to the high schools and registered the kids to make sure that we got them where we needed to be. But then the next step was, what do we do after we register them? Because we registered a lot of people and they didn't go anywhere. So we started thinking outside of the box. So I want to invite you, if you know anybody who has not voted before because they're nervous, they're scared, because I've had people to tell me, I didn't know what happens on the inside of that room. So we decided to think outside of the box, and I wanted to make sure I share with you, we're having a mock election right here in this room, Saturday from 12 to 2. That means no pressure. They get to come in and they get a ballot, and the ballot tells them to vote for their favorite car or something like that. So it's just, one of those things, not to confuse people with a true election. And then we have a machine that it goes into. So this is a partnership with the Board of Elections. So Dave Davis himself is going to be doing some education because he says people need to know that it's not anything to be intimidated by. And so you put the ballot into the machine and then they give you the sticker and says, I voted. And because we know that you guys got things to do when you leave out of here, we're going to make sure you got something to eat. So we got Mr. C's truck. We're going to get you some Philly cheesesteaks, some chicken, and some hamburgers. We're going to make sure that we make it worth your while. But our goal is to have you to bring someone who has never voted so they can come in and go through that mock election. When we are educated, then we do things in a different way. And this is about educating people, educating your neighbor, especially the ones that I ain't never voted and I ain't gonna vote. Because then I might have to be on the jury duty. I've heard that. I knock on doors. I know this community, I don't know any community, but those are the things that I hear. So I just need to make sure that you guys are talking to your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, getting them registered to vote. And then if they need that experience to see what it looks like so they can practice before this municipal election is coming up, then they can do that. And we're going to make sure that we help them and answer any question. But if you do not have an ID or a driver's license, we will make sure you get your free one because the Board of Elections will give you a free one. You can even go to the DMV and get a free one. So if you need to call me, I will give you a ride.
Yes.
I will take you there. I have been taking people so they can get their voter ID and it lasts for 10 years. I got one. So I am encouraging other people to get one. We right now are making laws and doing things that's detrimental. This is Reconstruction at its worst. So when I say that, because they're in the supermajority, they don't have to ask any questions because we veto and then they override it. They do not care, and I mean that. So there is an election bill that has been vetoed, which means they have the majority. And so I'm pretty sure they're going to override that. They're trying to stop you from voting. I keep telling people, why would they work so hard if your vote wasn't important? They're trying to stop young people because they saw that turnout when COVID happened and people started coming out, the young people started coming out to vote. They don't want you to vote. They're trying to stop minorities, if you're black and brown, because you started coming out, they don't want you to vote. Those people who have mail-in ballots, they're trying to stop you because they want to have 3 people now trying to verify it. They don't want you to vote. And then they want to do something by counting votes by hand. If they have to count the votes by hand that come in, y'all, oh my gosh. They're putting so many things in place that is ridiculous. But only thing I can say to you, they will allow what you allow them to do. That means if you don't vote, you allow them to do what they're doing. Because I'm going to vote, I'm going to fight, I'm going to work, but I can't do it alone. We need you. Because I can tell you right now, it is not fun being in the seat and hearing and seeing the stuff that they do. And when they talk about us like we're not there, it is crazy. If you heard some of the things they say on the floor, I mean, they told a man who went to Harvard, the only reason why he went there is because he must have had to meet a quota or something, or maybe because he was an athlete. And he was a judge, intelligent, in the top percentile. So they're saying everything they want to say and doing everything they want to do, and then they're looking at us like, what can you do about it? It is about power. So if you guys do not get your friends, your families, your relatives, the people you don't know into these polls to vote, it's going to be worse. Listen to Ron DeSantis. Whatever he's doing, that's what they're trying to do. If he got rid of one person, I'm just letting you know they're trying to get rid of Judge Anita Earls. Now they're trying to get rid of her, which means they will try to get rid of me next, even if I'm elected. They'll try to get rid of the next one, even if they're elected. So they're coming. The question is, will you refute that and come yourself and be ready for the battle? Thank you.
And I know they got those seats in Raleigh, but y'all know what's in this room tonight right here, too. You proved it. It's power. Say it with me, power. 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 Right in this room tonight. tonight is that power. Now, we are going to close out because, like I said, I don't know if I represent the ground up. And I do want to say for the record, y'all, we did invite the other person who represents Pitt County in that majority party to be here tonight, Representative Reeder, and he declined due to a conflict. But I want to make clear that we did ask him to be here to explain themselves and explain it. And I'll let you read the absence for what you will. But Representative Brown.
Okay, I'm not going to be up here long. First, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight because it's like Senator said, this is very important for our citizens to know what's going on. And the only thing I can say, I'm not going to repeat anything she said because she's right, and me being on the House side, it does. It hurts because when we know that we are supporting our constituents, we are doing what we can, what is right, and when you get, voted against, or you get knocked away, or they really don't want to hear what you got to say, or they will listen, they're laughing, or sometimes, you can look across the aisle and that, someone is up debating the bill, and I mean, they're laughing sometimes. I mean, I'm going to be transparent about this, but it hurts. I feel like I'm just like this, and if you shackle my hands, what can I do? Nothing. But it hurts in my heart to know that we are really, really trying and we are not being heard. So the bottom line, the only thing I can say is, like she said, is vote. We gotta vote. We got to get people out to vote. We got to make some changes. I just want to let you know that I live, some of you may not know, I live in Bethel. I was a former mayor in Bethel, but I know what it is to roll up my sleeves, and I know what it is to work. I am a servant. It's not about my title. I could care less about the title, but I do believe in doing what is right. I do believe in trying to make communities better. I will say this much right now, in Bethel we went so long without a grocery store, but thank God it's coming to pass. Something is going to happen now. Buildings are being, revitalized downtown Bethel, little old Bethel, north of the river. But things are happening in Bethel. So I know when you work together, teamwork makes the dream work. So we got to work together as a team and stop looking at, this one, that one. But whatever we can do to put our hand to the plow, that's the only way we're going to make that road so we can plant what needs to be planted. So I'm here. I give you my cell number, personal cell number, 252-347-2970. Call me. If I do not answer, leave me a message. I don't know everything. I do not claim to know everything, but I promise you this one thing, that I will find the answer, I will find the resources where we can work together, we can all work together to make a difference. Again, I am your servant. I am here for you. It's not about me. I will not sell my soul to the devil. I promise you that. I will not sell my soul to the devil, because having that prestige and that name don't mean a hill of beans if you haven't done anything to prove yourself, to make sure that your people are being taken care of. So I'm here to let you know I will dig. If you need me to come and dig in the dirt with you, we can dig. I promise you that. So that's the promise I make, that I will do the best that I know how. And call me if you need me, my office, or call my personal cell. Let me know what's going on. I can't be everywhere, but if you get up with me, I'll come to you. You don't have to burn the gas. I'll come to you, and we'll sit down and figure out what's going on. But again, please, 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 hoot. And second chance, where you at? I got to speak on that real quick. You work. I know you work. I know you work. And I know you work. And I'm a strong believer in second chance. I know it works. That's not something I heard, but I know from experience it works. So we got to stand behind everybody in this room and make sure that they get the resources and the help that they need to continue to help us help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, elected representatives. And I just got one question for y'all. How many of y'all know 5 people who should have been here tonight to hear this testimony? All right, that's right. And how many of y'all are going to take as many of the resources as you can, talk to as many of the orgs as you can, and get everything you need through your community members? How many? Raise your hand. And when do the municipal elections, when do those elections here in 2023, when do they start? They start tonight. Well, yeah. They start right now. And when does the 2024 election start, y'all? It starts right now. And what are we going to be doing? We're going to be building power. Say it with me. We're going to be building power. We're going to be building power. I want to thank y'all for being here tonight. Please grab resources. Please talk to folks. Get food. It's better if y'all have the food than we do, so take as much as you want. And we got to get out of here fairly quick. But the last big thing, if you've got any of the cards that you filled out on your chairs, please drop them in the gray magic box of mystery here. It helps us know about y'all who wanted to share your thoughts but didn't speak tonight. Please make sure to grab them in this gray box. Get home safe. Thank you very much for coming here tonight.
Yeah, if y'all need info on IDs, we have some up here too. I'll take that. If you need more, just let me know.
You want phone on wood? Put my phone on one. Well, yeah, you want to put yours on? Yeah.